Alright, so let's talk the new XTS. My name's Greg, and you're watching How to Play Paintball. What I wanted to do was actually go over the Prime XTS. So this is the newest marker from Macdev. Yes, I am sponsored by Macdev, so I don't want this to be something that people blow up or whatever. I'm going to go through the marker itself, some of the new features that are in there. I legitimately do like this gun. This isn't well, I'm sponsored by them, so I have to say this. No, I legitimately like shooting the Prime. It's an awesome marker, and the XTS, they did some improvements to make it even better. So what I wanted to do was go through what it all comes with, what it comes with stock, and basically just walk through the marker, what are some of the updates, and be able to show it off for you guys. First and foremost, wanted to just show you what actually comes in the box here. So it's a nice case. They actually did make an update to this case that I really, really like. This is the usual, so obviously the marker actually in here, so there's indentation, so that way it doesn't move around while it's actually in here. The thing that they changed, though, that I really, really liked when I first saw was this, and this doesn't seem like much, but in my old Prime, something that was in there was that center sleeve. So this center sleeve just kind of was able to flop back and forth. The reason I didn't like that is it was just kind of got in the way. It was just kind of annoying, to be honest. What this does is there's this little piece of Velcro, and that holds your barrel kit and also other goodies here. So it's just a really cool addition that doesn't seem like much until you have it, and then you realize, oh, that was kind of annoying before. So in the actual sleeve here, so of course you have your manual. You always want to make sure that you look through that, and a parts kit. With the manual, everything is laid out very, very nice. So it's very easy to read, and also just has everything that you need. So if you need any questions answered, you should always look at that first. But Macdev is very good about answering any questions on Facebook or email, all of that. And let me flip this over. So in this little pouch, if I can pull all this out here. So you have your Allen keys, and this is just something that I've always had. I've had this dental pick for I don't know how long, but this just helps whenever you're trying to pull out Allen keys. I'm sorry, not Allen keys, O-rings, and is something that just makes life a lot easier instead of trying to get in there with your fingernails. Just helps to hook it out. So I've had this one for a couple years, I think. I don't know how I haven't lost this, which means that now that I've said it, I'm probably going to lose it. Of course, you have your barrel cover. Comes with lube. And with the Allen keys themselves, you can see that they're the ball point. So they're not the cheap Allen keys that are just like the squared off and that's it. This makes it easier because you can kind of go in at an angle and tighten down whenever you need to. And then there is a little Phillips screwdriver. The barrel kit is the new shift kit. So let me pull this out here. The actual tip is very, very short. The reason being is you can see how long the control bore is. So it is extremely long. It comes with a 681 and a 689. A lot of paint is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, so there's no reason to have a 6.9 or something like that. But basically, the control bore is super long, so that way it just helps it be, well, it does exactly what it says. It controls the paint, so it just helps it to be a lot more accurate. So all it is it goes right into the front, kind of clicks. I don't know any other way to say that. And then it's reverse threaded for the tips. So it's going to be lefty tighty, righty loosey. Now the actual porting itself, they have a whole breakdown here of different ports, so that way it helps with the sound signature to be quieter. Just put this all back in here, flip it over, and get to the important stuff. So get the actual marker. So with the marker itself, and sorry I have a little bit of gunk on there. One thing that they changed that I liked immediately was the grips. So the grip on the front and on the back is a little bit softer than the original Prime, and it's very durable. So it's been super comfy. I've really liked just the feel of it. It's hard to describe without you actually touching it. So that is a really nice addition that they had done. Another thing that's really cool is that it is a magnet that holds in the eye plate, so that way it's just easier to get in, clean everything out that you need to, and then get back to playing. And just kind of, there's like a little slot right there, and then it clicks back in. It's very hard to get this to come out, so it's not like you're going to take a dive and this is going to pop off. If you shot some of the old Luxes, that was an issue that actually, if I think one of your O-rings went bad, that it would actually kind of push all of that out. This you have to lift from the bottom to actually get it to come out. So there's that little nub there, you can kind of see that goes in, and then it clicks down into that magnet, and it's very flush with the gun, so it's going to be very hard for something to catch onto there and get it to pop out, so you don't have to worry about that. Another really nice feature is the thumb wheel. So this was something that on the original Prime you had to kind of turn it around and then go and tighten it down. So on this one you can actually tighten it, you can close it, put your hopper on, and then tighten it down, maybe open it up a little bit, do like another little quarter turn, so that way it's nice and snug on your marker. The milling on it is very subtle, so it's not gonna be overly flashy. It's not something that is going to be too aggressive, but it still has some nice aggressive lines to it. It just kind of catches the eye. So it's not going to be super intense or any issues with having to clean out. If you get mud or gunk in there, it's very smooth, so it's going to be easy to clean out also. So it's a weird, aggressive, but subtle, if that makes any sense at all. The trigger itself, it's the same trigger as before, so I liked it. It's very snappy. And another really cool feature that they changed was the actual on-off. So the original on-off on the Prime had a little lip that would come up, and I never had this issue where playing it would pop open, but I guess that became an issue for some people. So what they did is they made it where once you press it down and it's actually aired up, there's nothing that sticks out. It's very hard for something, again, to get in there to be able to pop this open. So it's just a very sleek system, and also, if you have your hand or something like that, you don't have to worry about anything catching on the bottom there. It's pretty much flush all the way across. They do recommend that you use low pressure. So like we use the powerhouse regulators on the ML Kings, and we can have those at low pressure, so it's just better. Another cool feature that you wouldn't notice unless you had a Prime is the back cap. So the back cap clicks down very nice, but it doesn't come up super high. So when you're trying to get everything, it's not gonna be difficult to remove or whatever. Once it's all aired up, you're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it shooting out or anything like that. Of course, it has the usual. Let me just get that into the frame a little bit better. So it's kind of a soft face bolt, and that's just going to be helping with just again shooting the most brittle paint possible. Another really cool feature is actually inside here, it's all wireless. So let me go ahead and grab an Allen key and I'll show that to you. Okay, so I have those off there. So literally, you just have to pull it apart and you're good to go. So it's not going to be a hassle when you're putting this all back together. You can see all the little connection points, so that way everything's going to hook up just fine. It's actually really nice that the O-ring that goes into the solenoid isn't stuck inside here. It's nice and snug actually in the solenoid. And everything, you can even see like the eye wires and all that, just like the perfect length. I'm not sure how else to describe that other than that. So it's just very simple. You don't have to worry about if you take apart your marker that you have to, if you guys remember, the older ones, you had to like make sure everything was tucked in there and slowly put it together. So once you're trying to get it all back together, you kind of just slide it back into the body, and you just kind of have to find the groove that it goes into. And you can kind of see it kind of just slides in there. You shouldn't see any gaps there. And you grab your screws and then put it all back together. Okay, so another really cool feature that they incorporated here, and I didn't even realize that I was using the one that was actually angled a little bit, but this foregrip, you can actually change it where the angle is either very like a 90 degree or it's tilted out a little bit. So that way it's a little bit more comfortable for your wrist instead of it being, you know, straight down. Try to do it from the side. Straight down like that, it's a little bit more comfortable. So that way when you're snapping out, it's just going to be a little bit more comfortable overall. So all you need to do, and what's good with this is that there's a couple steps to it, so you're not going to accidentally turn it around, but there's one screw in here that you will take out. Put your Allen key down, of course. You're going to slide off the actual grip, and then you see that screw inside there. So you'll take the Allen key, it's going to be one of the larger ones actually, slide it through there, there's a little hole, and there are 2 more screws. Now you do need to take off the actual grip frame. I guess you can think of it kind of like a safety precaution, because that way you have to literally, if you can see that there, but this block here that this is holding in, you take out and turn around and then screw back in, put the grip frame back on. You can see how mine is kind of angled. I didn't even realize I was using the angled one, and I've liked it, so I'm going to leave it instead of having the 90 degree, which when you turn it around, again, it's going to be just straight down. So if you like that a little bit more, you can change that around. But the actual screw that you'll take out, so when you grab your Allen key, put it through the bottom here, and you have more than enough space. So you're able to unscrew that, unscrew these other 2 silver screws, and like I said, you need to have the grip frame needs to be taken off, and you're going to lift up this black block, turn it around, put these silver screws back in, and you see the other threads there. See if I can get in the light for you. That one in there, that's where this screw is going to go. So that way you don't need to worry about it being too far back or too far forward. It's going to be in the same spot. It's just, is the foregrip going to be angled or is it going to be straight down? Personally, I like the angle one. I don't want to change it to the 90. I thought I was actually using it and it was a little bit more, yeah, I didn't even realize the angle, but I like how it feels, so no point in changing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So something that's cool too is it's flush on the bottom here. So when you take the screw, kind of drops into there, and then put it over, grab your Allen key, and screw it back in. All right, so last thing I wanted to go over was the actual bolt itself. I know I talked about the back cap, but the bolt itself is the regular, I don't want to say regular, but the infinity drive from the original Prime. The reason why they didn't update this is there's no reason to. This is a very, very good bolt. It's very easy to take apart, to maintain. If you remember the old Macdevs, oh, I need to clean this. If you remember the older Macdevs, there was a whole bunch of parts inside here, and they just simplified it. So literally, that's the bolt. Then you have your can, and then your bolt guide. You can unscrew this section here if you wanted to get into the little release here, so that way you can adjust whatever you need to in there. You really don't have to, though. You can leave this completely assembled. This is all you would need to do whenever you go to clean it, and then you're just adding lube on the O-rings that really need it. So there's an O-ring inside there. So the way that you can lube that is actually just lubing on the bolt here, and then on your O-rings, and then the O-ring here, because that's what's actually sliding back and forth there, and then you just screw it all back together. Now you do want it to be just about hand tight. You don't have to Hulk smash it, but just hand tight, and of course pop up the back cap, slide everything in, and that's it. It still has a good readout for everything that's going on here. I desperately need to change my battery, so there is that, but so it just tells you everything that's going on, so that way you know if your eyes are working, all of that. So yeah, I mean, mine is desperately dying because I haven't played in a little while because we're still in quarantine, so I need to change out that battery. But that overall is the Prime XTS. Alright guys, so that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions about the marker, I'm more than happy to answer that. So you can put that down in the comments down below. If there's a video that you would like to see, please make sure that you're putting that in the comments as well. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that. Thank you to my Patreon. So thank you for that extra support that you give me. And again guys, I look at Patreon first to see about video ideas. And then after that, I'll look into the YouTube comments. So if you want to make sure that I'm seeing your questions first, you can go ahead and become a Patreon, patreon.com/howtoplaypaintball. But again, I hope this is something that helps you all out, and I'll see you in the next video. So as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.